Hello everybody, it's Catherine from Jayne Catherine on Books, and we're now into November, and what I thought I'd do is give you some recommendations this month for some non-fiction books which are on my shelves that will fit the categories for non-fiction November 2018. Now this has been created as always by the lovely Olive from A Book Olive, and I'll put her details down below, and often she's joined by Non-Fit Books, and I'll put her channel down too. So I'm not sure if she's hosting this year or not, but she does have some great recommendations. So I've gathered together a few looking at different characters, different cat's got my tongue, categorizations of pastimes, as in pastimes being hobbies, interests of ours, and yeah, just chosen a few of my favourites really, and see if there's anything that you'd like to have a look at yourselves. So without further ado, let's have a look at my choices. So first of all, the Encyclopedia of Embroidery Techniques. And this is by Pauline Brown. Now, very much interested in textiles, all things embroidery, patchwork, that sort of thing. And I actually, although I've worked as a qualified nurse for years, I've also been and done some qualifications in city and guilds in machine embroidery and art and design, and also hand embroidery. And I did that really you know, just for pleasure, just for my own hobby. And this is a lovely book. It's quite simple, so it's easy to follow. There are some difficult stitches in here as well as simple, but I think that if you're a beginner or intermediate embroiderer, hoping you can see that the sun's suddenly come out in it's been really drab all day, and then it's suddenly gone really sunny, so I'm hoping you can see that. Just an idea of the layout and how it teaches you different, like there's some more examples there of embroidery. It's well worth seeing if you can get hold of this. It makes a really good guide. Then next I thought I'd pick two textile books to show you. These are both by Kim Thittichai. Thittichai, I hope I've said that correctly. Thittichai. She's very well known in the crafting circles for embroidery and working with mixed media, that sort of thing. Now this has got, you won't be able to appreciate this, but it's got a lovely brushed velvet cover on there, and this is called Reclaimed Textiles. Now I do like to include recycling things into my work. I do like to use old cloth, old papers, all sorts of recycling bits of zips, you name it, and this just gives you some really great inspiration how to incorporate that. I mean, yeah, nowhere near as could I do some of the stuff she's done. It's amazing. I mean, look at these shoes that's being made. I don't talk about my textile stuff very much really on this channel, because I mean we're talking books, but I do have a piece in an exhibition. There's a big exhibition called Sleep that was held in York last year, and myself and two other ladies from our sewing group put pieces in for the exhibition, and now it's going around Europe. Yeah, so Jayne Catherine on tour. And this was a very interesting study that she did into sleep, and she's working with some of the top sleep people in the UK, and so we all got a pillowcase to design and embroider for this this project. So that's goodness knows where it is. Probably out of Mongolia or somewhere. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Look at this amazing work that she does, just full of inspiration. So that's Reclaimed Textiles, and then I want to show you another one by her, which is Laird Textiles. And again, this is a favourite thing that I love to do, and I get lots of inspiration from this. This is all old paper that's coloured and layered and put into a photograph. I love doing things like that, cutting up old maps, and see what else she's recycled here and layered up. I mean, look at these. This is somebody called Anne Small that put a piece in for the book, and that is just amazing work to me. I hope you can see that clear enough. That's gorgeous. So if you like your textiles and you haven't come across this lady, Kim Thittichai, then go and check out her books, because they're just so pleasing to the eye and so inspirational. So also I get a lot of my inspiration from India. Now, you know, I love Indian fiction. I love books that are set in India. That's just the continent that I enjoy. My brother-in-law's family's from India, and it's just, I'm really drawn to it. So I get a lot of inspiration for my work from that. So this is another book that I recommend. This is called Indian Inspirations, and this is by Gisela Thwaites, A Feast of Patchwork, Embroidery and Beadwork Techniques and Projects. So yeah, have a look at that. This has some amazing techniques, all inspired. You'll be able to see here, perhaps inspired by some of the work that, you know, the ladies do in the little villages in India. So that's that one. So then I've also got another pastime, and something that I am really interested in is interior design, and have done some few courses on that. And for anybody that's interested in interior design or interested in learning how to do the technical side of it, draw graphs, or anybody, you know, any of your teenagers that are wanting to study this, or they're doing it part of art for their college courses, this is a fantastic book, non-fiction account really. It's like a Bible for all things technical to do with interior design. This is Interior Design Illustrator by Francis Ching and Corky Bignelli, and full of all sorts of different drawings, mainly in pen and ink. I'm trying to find you something that might show up on camera. I think it might be a bit difficult to show up. I can show that, but I'm not sure it comes out great. So, something else. And then another pastime of ours is art. Very interested in art, spend a lot of time going around art galleries in the past. We did have a fine art gallery ourselves, a contemporary fine art gallery, and we've met many famous artists, been to many events with that, and so yeah, we've got a plethora of books on art, which yeah, I'm sure is a pastime of many others as well. So this is a nice, again, it's inspired all things Indian, so this is the Art of India. Not much to this really, quite a plain cover, and I can't see who it's by. Plenty of maps. Plenty of maps, but I don't know who's written it. I'll put the ISBN number in because I don't know who's written it. But it's a really interesting book, and all the different artifacts from India, and lovely coloured photographs in there. But yeah, it's not just about art as in art drawing. I'm not very good at drawing and painting, but actually looking into artifacts and art galleries and exhibitions, and yeah, fun time. So that's one you may not have seen. The next one, that for anybody that's has a hobby of photography or enjoys looking at photographs, this is a really big chunky book, but it's beautiful. It's produced by the National Geographic. I mean, their photography is always outstanding. This is 100 Days in Photographs, Pivotal Events That Changed the World, and this is by Yapp, and this is just absolutely amazing. Not just about the photography side of it, but there's so much to learn. It's just a guide for looking up on things that happened in history. Let's have a look. For example, here, April 6, 1909, Robert E. Peary, the first to the North Pole. So yeah, you've got the photographic evidence there, but then you've also got some information about that, and yeah, it's really fascinating. It's a good little volume to learn new things, and that's how I see non-fiction books. I think it's all about learning and finding out something new that you're interested in or don't know about. Let's just look at another example. Lindenberg flies the Atlantic, May the 21st, 1927. Not many coloured ones I'm picking out here, but so yeah, have a look at that, 100 Days in Photography. And then finally, they're all heavy books for me to hold up. I'm absolutely fascinated with architecture. I don't know if I've ever said that, but I'm just fascinated with old buildings, stunning buildings, the feat of engineering of how some of these buildings were built in the days when they didn't have the same construction techniques as we have today. I'm just fascinated by it, and I suppose it all falls together with the enjoyment of doing the embroidery and the all the design stuff and my textiles, because a lot of that is art and form, and I think a lot of inspiration comes from architecture. This is Architecture in Britain and Ireland. I'm struggling to hold this one up, it's very heavy. From 600 to 1500, and this is Lucy Archer and photographs by Edwin Smith. And it's just, there's just some stunning architecture in here. Examples of different styles through the ages. I've got some Tudor stuff here, for example. And, you know, I don't know how many times you look at these things. There's always something new to spot. So yeah, that's a really lovely book. It make a lovely coffee table. I mean, quite a few of these will make, you know, 100 Days in Photographs to make a nice coffee table book. But this in particular, it's nice to have a browse at and get some inspiration. And also, because it's England and Ireland, you know, you can plan some of your trips if you want to. If you fancy going to see some of these places, it just gives you a bit of inspo for that. And well, that looks a bit like Raby Castle, actually, where we went on holiday last week. It's not unlike it. So there we go, that's that one. So I thought I'd bring out some of the lesser known perhaps books off my shelves, some of my non-fiction, well, our non-fiction collection. I mean, David reads a lot more non-fiction than I do. It's always good to have on a pub quiz, is David, because the amount of knowledge he retains is always amazes me. But yeah, some ideas there. If you've not already seen any of these, go and see if your library's got copies of them, or especially National Geographic. I mean, they do so many different beautiful non-fiction works for you to have a look at. So there we are, that's part one of my recommendations for Non-Fiction November. See you again soon.